us of a new people. The destructive ways of the past are gone. We will replace them with our vision of the future. The party will lead us to the new age. There have been those who have tried to stop the new age. They are the corrupt reminder of the past. They have tried to confuse us with the idea that the old America was a good country. We know that lie. History teaches us that lie. We are grateful to our Soviet brothers who saved the world from destruction, and we can now join them in a world of socialist brotherhood. Everyone will go to school, everyone will have a job, everyone will be equal. No one will exploit or be exploited, and all those who oppose this wonderful vision will be crushed.
Here with a very special message for my good friend Omran Daknish. That's right. Hey buddy, how are you doing? I love sending special messages like this to people all over the world, but especially to great little boys like you, Omran, all the way over in Aleppo. I'm thinking about you today and every day. You are a special little boy. And of course I'd love to give a big shout out to your sisters Roa and Taki and your brother Abdullah. Omran, always be safe in Aleppo with your family. We love you. The whole world loves you. Yay! Omran, keep being the sweet little boy you are. You'll always be close in my heart. From your friend, Kermit the Frog. I love you, Omran.
We should never allow the government to decide what is acceptable speech and what is unacceptable speech. We should penalize behaviors, not opinions, and not speech. If you start trying to regulate speech, you start trying to regulate thoughts, start trying to regulate beliefs rather than behaviors, there's no way that you're not going to abridge the constitutional rights of millions of Americans.
Drink Coke, the road to obesity. At Coke, we say we're woke. We sell drinks that add smoke. China is our labor supplier that drives our stock price even higher. What the world knows today, obesity won't go away. Drink Coke, the road to obesity. At Coke, we say we're woke. We sell drinks that add smoke. China is our labor supplier that drives our stock price even higher. What the world knows today, obesity won't go away. Obesity.
Rated PG-13.
Hi, I'm George Lucas. In my past 40 years of motion picture making, no subject has so inspired me as this story that happened in August 2016. The world saw a 3-year-old boy on global networks, and it really touched my heart. So much so that I had to tell his story. His name is Omran Daknish. His story is real. It happened. I'm telling this story because millions of other children just like Omran are still being hurt in war-torn countries resulting from neglect, illness, and uncaring masses. We must remember them all. You won't be leaving the movie theater without a tear in your eyes. I hope you'll come.
Rated PG-13.
I have noticed some things here in Atlanta that's been going on the last few months that I try to do updates and listen to Glenn Beck on his YouTube channel of what he's hearing. There's a station in Atlanta called WSB. They have a radio station and a TV station. And about a month ago, they intentionally shut off the audio for people who get over-the-air broadcasting. And I reported it to their station, and they didn't do anything for like 3 days, 4 days, almost a week. Then I brought it to the attention of the weatherman, Glenn Burns, and I told him. he said he was going to pass it on to engineering, and then comes back about maybe an hour later and says, the engineer said there's nothing wrong. He said it must be something wrong with your equipment. So I contacted him back and I said, I think you're going to find a lot of people who use converter boxes are having the same problem, because I've recalibrated the box, I've done rescans, everything. And so he got really perturbed and said that I was wrong. There's nobody else having a problem but you. And so I went on their webpage on Facebook and I commented to the public that Channel 2 is not broadcasting over-the-air audio on their station. And one more than maybe a day later, came right back up again. The audio was fine. So they're suppressing people's ability to get information if you have, let's just say, the minimal for getting over-the-air television. You don't have internet. They're suppressing all that stuff. Now let me bring up something else that's been going on now the last 4 days now. There's only one station here in this part of Georgia that airs Glenn Beck's shows on radio, and also they air the guys that took over the EIB network after Rush Limbaugh died. The station's been on half power now for the past week, and I'm bringing this out because the station has an office in Noonan. It's called WVCC Hogansville LaGrange. It's on AM 720. 720 is the only station in this whole part of Georgia that airs talk radio. And the significance of why I'm bringing this up is that WSB radio and television, the claim is they're going to buy that station in Hogansville. When they do, if not, they've done it, and now they're suppressing people's ability to get over-the-air radio even here. WSB is a liberal station. They are not conservative. They are not a non-partisan station. In other words, they do not take the viewpoint of responsible journalism, that they give both sides of something. They give only one side. Of course, all the media is like that now. But they are definitely against, and they hate conservatives. They hate conservatives to the point where you cannot hear legitimate news, whether it be radio or TV, from WSB, because they're not going to give you both sides of the story. They suppress everybody's ability to talk about any kind of subject. They have been condemned. They've condemned President Trump ever since he was in the White House. Of course, I'm not saying all the other stations don't do that either. They do. Channel 11 was the worst of any of them. WXIA would, they had a news reporter, Brenda Wood, who was just adamantly pro-Islam, pro-communism, socialism, and it was even during the time, even before President Trump was the President of the United States. They stood with Barack Obama on every issue. They kept saying, oh, Islam's the greatest religion in the world. And so now you see that since the last 4 years, you've heard of lies after lies by the liberals, by the communists. And here, President Trump isn't even the president, and they're still condemning him every day and saying he did this, he did that. They never condemned Biden for nothing. He's perfect, just like they kept saying about Barack Obama for 8 years. Oh, Obama's perfect. Obama's great. And that's deliberate liberal that's liberal suppression of everybody's freedom of speech. But it's more than that. It's about their adamant attitude and bias towards the idea that communism and socialism must happen in this country, because that's all they're going to push on the public when you see a TV show or you watch anything. And that's true now of radio. Radio stations are under attack by the liberals, by the communists, because you have to suppress free speech in order for you to eliminate and block all information from getting out to the general public. And if you keep them from being able to hear these things on the radio, if you keep them from seeing it on television, then that's half the battle for the socialists, the communists, because then nobody else can hear anything else except their one side of an issue. And it's obvious now, watching and listening to WVCC out of Hogansville, station's never been back on full power, and that's got nothing to do with any weather problems. The station's been doing these things ever since that rumor started that WSB radio was buying the station. But they're going to eliminate everything about Glenn Beck, and they're going to eliminate Rush Limbaugh's EIB show, because they don't want people any more to hear these markets in the southeast especially. They know this is the area of the country where there are most conservatives. So if they suppress your ability to hear news, then you're going to be totally isolated, because they're not going to let you hear anything else. And that's an ironic fact, that the communists get away with these things, and the American public apparently have no authority or no real chance to speak out. Because if you try to on social platforms, they block you. They just did that to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a U.S. representative of the Senate or the Congress, and they totally blocked her channel off Twitter because they say that she was making up lies. And isn't it funny? The Twitter group itself was suppressing information even during the election, and they won't let people talk about certain things, and they're still doing it. So now they got the gall to go against certain people like senators and congressmen who speak out about it, and they're blocking them off their channel, off their service. They're doing it on Facebook, even though Facebook isn't deliberately coming out and telling the American public, we're going to suppress every person who tries to say something that we don't agree with. That's suppression, okay? I don't know if you've ever heard that word or not, but suppression and oppression are the key events and the key things that the communists use against the public. Adolf Hitler did it during the time of the Nazis occupying certain parts of Europe. They suppressed people's rights of free speech. They controlled all the newspapers. They jailed people who spoke out against Hitler and against the Nazi youth camps and things that were going on. And it's worse now, of course, because you've got the media, you've got the social platforms out there, and there's so many other ways you can get information out to the public. So they're using the social platforms themselves as a suppressionist group to block all of our freedoms and our rights to speak out on these things. I mean, that's not news. I'm sure you're all like, yeah, we've heard that stuff already. Well, folks, it's beyond time for you to take action and do something about all this. You want to play this game of I don't care because it's done. As long as it doesn't affect my bubble, which is my kids or my family, I don't care. It's beyond the scope of that. You're paying hyperinflation right now in the United States on food, water, medicine, everything. You think it's going to end that way? No. The midterms are coming up. I'm telling you, it's a total joke. The socialists are going to choose who they want to be in those offices. It has nothing whatsoever to do with what you try to vote for. And all you got to do is look at what just happened 2 years ago. That's proof positive right there. That's why I refuse to participate. I'm never voting again. Never. I'm never going back. It's a joke. It's a farce. It's a sham. If you don't see that, you never will see that. And I say live with yourself and live with a communist nation, because that's what you're in, and that's what it will always be. We can never ever change what the socialists have been doing ever since they did what they did in getting rid of President Trump. When they got him out of the White House, that was beyond the needle in the haystack. People realized then this thing has gone way, way outside the scope of what people believed would be possible. They did it. And now there's no chance for anybody to do anything anymore. So, I wanted to bring these things out to the public because, at least in Georgia, there are only a few stations left that even air things like from Glenn Beck or other conservative talk show hosts. WSB going after that little puny station in Hogansville means they're going to suppress everybody's chances in this part of central Georgia from hearing anything. They're not going to let you find out any new information because they figure if you want to know, you're going to have to go online to find out, because we're going to block it from the majority of the people who live in rural areas of the state of Georgia. They're going to cut off the abilities of our freedoms of speech to hear information because they're going to block it so we can't hear nothing anymore. They had a guy last night on WSB was talking, his name is Eric Erickson. This is a radio personality for WSB. I think he broadcasts on 95.5. If you listen just to General Day on 95.95, it's all liberal. It's all progressive. There are no conservative views. There's no talk shows for anybody else except for their rhetoric to push a proletariat totalitarianism government that's already in place and is already building more and more walls against the conservatives and against free thinking Americans to say anything or to do anything. And the media doing these things is liable. They should be charged for treason, for blocking free speech. Just like Joe Biden should be charged for treason of ignoring the Constitution, of not upholding it, protecting it, and defending it. Those are the three oaths they took when they took those offices in government. Was you will uphold the Constitution, you will defend the Constitution, you will protect the Constitution. And they denied that they have done anything wrong since they've started this crap. And nobody says anything about why are we in an inflation situation. They say, oh, well, it's because of coronavirus. That's a sham. You, as the president, are the one that starts that kind of financial hardship. It has nothing to do with a pandemic. It has nothing to do with anything. And you see how fast after what happened in Afghanistan, how the media dropped it? They don't even bring it up anymore. Every day they keep bringing up about Black History Month, Martin Luther King, memorials, all the rest of this stuff, and you think, well, what about all those men in Afghanistan that died because Biden refused to go in there and help them get out of that country? They don't even talk about that anymore, do they? That's a total sham against the American people. And I know y'all gonna say, well, that's why we're gonna get rid of Biden in the next election. I'm like, you're not gonna get rid of Biden ever. You're not gonna get rid of the socialists. They've gotten into the country's highest government system now, and they are never ever gonna be removed again. They'll never be removed. You hear Glenn Beck saying over and over again, well, they're losing, we're winning. It's like, really, Glenn? Where's the evidence? I don't see any evidence of that. I mean, I see a lot of this, you know, blah, 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 but I don't see anything happening where, like Mike Lindell's evidence came out. They're going into those different voting precincts and having the machines checked to see if they changed it, altered it, whatever. They won't even let you talk about that. And the media is never going to bring it up. So, that's why I say, you're living a lie in your own life if you think somehow it's going to be changed, because they proved it can't be changed. Nothing can be changed now. All you can do is what I do, and that's pray that God will intervene and change hearts in the highest positions of the government. And he can do anything. There is no doubt in my mind. He can do anything, only if it's his will. But more and more things that happen, more you realize maybe it's his will that this country die as a country. That we have to give up everything that we were as a nation, because it proves to the rest of the world you always depended on America to be there, and now it's gone. It's not going to be your savior anymore. It's not coming to your rescue, because we can't even protect and help ourselves. How are we going to help another foreign country if we can't even protect and help ourselves through this takeover of communism, this takeover of socialism? It's not going to change anything. This is reality, okay? There's no way anybody can do nothing except God. God is the only one that can do that. We can't do it anymore. So, I know my days are numbered on YouTube because they've already they struck me 2 times for strikes. They did remove one of them. But again, that's the algorithm. The algorithm attacks your channel because it already has you on a blacklist. So it's going to look for everything about your channel, even if there isn't any legitimacy to it. As far as them saying it somehow violated their community guidelines, they're going to still keep attacking you, and they did. In that instance, I appealed. I figured, well, maybe a human being will actually read this appeal, and they'll look into it. And somebody did look into it. And they said, looks like the algorithm in this case was wrong, and they removed my strike and let my video be posted again. But again, I think it's people like Rob Johnson. Rob Johnson is a sympathizer for the communists. He's a sympathizer for the socialist platforms that are out there because he works for YouTube. He works in conjunction with the algorithms that are used to target certain people, certain videographers who post things that are conservative, and they don't like people saying things that are conservative. They hate people who are conservatives. And that's why they attack Glenn Beck all the time. That's why they attack Travis and all the other people who are out there on EIB. They're not going to let us say anything. They're going to suppress our rights. One thing they cannot do to me, they can't touch me because I'm not voting. I'm not going back. That's a sham. So, if they're going to flip a vote, it's going to have to be like they did when they did the last election. The machines have to be hacked by Iran or Afghanistan, mainly from Russia, from China, in order for that to happen. The Democrats are never going to be accountable for the same things they put poor President Trump through for 4 years when they lied about him every day. He had collusion with Russia, he this, he that. It's been proven they did it. The Democrats themselves did it. And you don't hear anybody saying nothing about it. They don't bring them up on charges. They haven't put up articles of impeachment against Joe Biden for letting our American soldiers die in Afghanistan. This guy should be up on 8 different articles of impeachment right now. They don't do it. Because they're not going to ever attack their own people. They're going to attack Republicans, they're going to attack everybody else, but they're not going to attack Democrats, because in their minds, Democrats are the only chance of communism in America. Communism is the only way they think that the United States is going to survive, is by using communism to destroy this country. That's where we are today, and I say, good luck. God help this country, because He is the only one that can. And He's the only one that we can trust in now. We can't trust in government. We can only trust that President Trump might run as an independent the next time. If he runs as an independent, I'll vote for him. If he doesn't, if he goes with the Republican Party, I'm never going back. So whoever votes is probably going to be the communists doing it. They'll flip them again just like they did before.
I think
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. America. 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 America.